February is Heart Health Month, a time dedicated to raising awareness about heart disease and ways to prevent it. Medical experts say taking care of your heart is critical, as cardiovascular disease remains one of the leading causes of death nationwide. Dr. Peer at St. Francis Cabrini Hospital says Heart Health Month is an opportunity to remind people of the importance of prevention, maintaining a healthy diet, exercising regularly, monitoring blood pressure and cholesterol levels are key steps in reducing the risk of heart disease. Medical professionals say many heart-related conditions develop over time and may not show symptoms right away. Dr. Peer says early signs of heart disease to look out for is chest pain and a burning sensation. People may assume it's gas or fatigue.
Most common causes are traditional risk factors like high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity, smoking, sedentary lifestyle. So heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. In particular, in our central Louisiana community, our numbers are higher than the national average.
Peer says early detection plays a major role in preventing serious complications. He encourages people to schedule regular checkups, know their family history, and make healthy lifestyle choices. Experts say even small changes, like increasing physical activity and improving diet, can make a lasting impact on heart health.